Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our JavaScript series. Today, we will discuss data types. We'll explore 6 of them: number, string, boolean, bigint, undefined, and null. Data types are a crucial concept in programming, so pay close attention. Let's understand them one by one, starting with the number data type. We'll create a let variable x and give it the value 5.7. To see the result, use console.log. This is a number type. If you add 2 zeros after the decimal point, JavaScript will convert it into an integer. Remove those zeros, and you'll see the number 5. You can also check its type using the type of operator before x, typeof operator used to show the type of any variable. In contrast to some other programming languages with various number types like int, float, and double, JavaScript keeps it simple with just one type, float. It treats any number as a floating point number, whether it's an integer or a decimal. Now, let's shift our focus to another data type, strings. We've covered strings in a previous lecture, but here's a quick recap. In JavaScript, anything written in single or double quotes is considered a string. For example, if we put double quotes around the number 5, it will be treated as a string. When we print it, you'll see 5 in the output, but its type is now a string. You can verify this by using typeof followed by the variable name, which will display string. Now, let's try something longer like I am a web developer. It will still be treated as a string. Moving on, let's talk about another data type called undefined. If we remove the text from a variable, it becomes undefined. Essentially, if you haven't assigned any value to a variable, it will be undefined. In the next line, if we assign the value 12 to the variable x, it becomes a number type because now I have assigned 12 value to it. Next, we have another data type known as boolean. In this data type, there are only 2 values, true and false. Let's illustrate this with some variables. We'll start with x and store 15 in it. Then, create another variable y, and also assign 15 to it. Now, introduce one more variable, z, and assign 20 to it. In the console, if I type x == y in JavaScript, we use a double equal sign to check equality. Unlike in mathematics where we use a single equal sign for calculations, in JavaScript, you use double equals. This will return true because x and y both have equal values. However, in another console, let's compare x and z variables. This will display false because x and z have different values. Now, let's remove the y and z variables. In the x variable, if I use a greater than sign between 2 values, for example, 40 is less than 10, which is correct, so it shows true in the output. If I use a less than sign, it will give false. Because 40 less than 10 is the wrong statement. Next, we have the bigint data type. If you focus on the name bigint, it means large integer. Let's understand it with an example. If I assign 15 times 9 to the x variable and create one more variable, y, which is equal to bigint. Here, b and I are capitalized. Write console log for y variable. You'll notice that x has the same value as we assigned, but y has a n letter with the value. If I write more numbers in the x variable, you'll notice that the output doesn't display all the values. But if I write more numbers in y, it will display all of them. What's going on here? I've told you that in JavaScript, there's only the float type. For very large numbers, there's no way to represent them accurately. That's why JavaScript introduced bigint. Now, you know what bigint is. There's another way to write bigint. If I use n at the end of the number, it will become a bigint. Now, let's talk about another data type known as null. If I assign the word null to the x variable. If you write typeof in the console, in the output, you can see object. In JavaScript, null is nothing. It is supposed to be something that doesn't exist. Unfortunately, in JavaScript, the data type of null is an object. You can consider it a bug in JavaScript. It should be null. If you found it helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos.